Welcome back to another edition of Higher Education Today. I'm your host, Stephen Roy Goodman. I'm here in Deeble, Somaliland, where we're going to be speaking about biodiversity and the importance of conservation. And I'm here with Dr. Ahmed Awale, who is the director of the Somaliland Biodiversity Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Somaliland's environment is shaped by its position in the Horn of Africa, by the Gulf of Aden, combining coastal lowlands, mountainous areas, and inland landscapes. So it has these three ecological zones, very important distinctive ecological zones. Taking to the coastal areas, it's a strip that's actually hot in the summer with low precipitation, sparse vegetation, and also characterized by seasonal watercourses that come down from the mountainous areas. Then when you move further inland, the gradient rises up to 5,000 to 6,000, 6,000 to 7,000 feet above the sea level. And in this area, it creates a cooler and more humid microclimate, which supports patches of forest, particularly juniperous forest, woodlands, and also a higher biodiversity compared to the coastal areas. Then finally, you go to the third inland, which is semi-arid, mostly wide plains covered by acacia conifera trees, and it's one of the best grazing lands in the country. So ecologically, the country, Somaliland, is a part of a bigger eco-geographical region called the Somali Maasai Center of Endemism, which means that, there are a lot of species, plants, and animals that are not found anywhere else that can be found in that area. And that Somali Maasai Center of Endemism include Somaliland, the other parts of the Somali region, Kenya, and as far as Tanzania. Apart from Somaliland flora having these relationships and links with that of the rest of Africa, it has also relationships with that of Arabia, and as far as the Eastern Mediterranean and the Canary Islands on the Atlantic, and also the Madagascar on the Indian Ocean. It means that species from all these areas are represented in Somaliland. That means, for example, floral records in Somaliland, which is estimated at 2,000 species, roughly around 35% of these species are endemic to the area. That means they are not found anywhere else in the world, and that actually underlines the importance of this region. When it comes into the fauna and the wildlife, and particularly the mammalian species, out of the 250 mammalian species documented from the Somali region, at least around 12% of these species are endemic to the area. But the country is actually arid, semi-arid, and the rainfall is variable, and sometimes actually we can say it's bimodal, which means it falls twice a year, and that makes generally the issue of water problematic, and sometimes actually rainfalls are most of the seasons below normal. And that's why, we have this kind of a recurrent droughts and all that. Then we have this, having all these, rich environment, and particularly the biodiversity, there has also been going on kind of actually retrogression in the variation or in the availability of these species due to a number of reasons, particularly the habitat loss. one of the greatest challenges we have is the deforestation. Deforestation, particularly, that's to say, clearing trees mainly for biomass energy. Biomass energy, that's to say, charcoal. Even though, renewable energies are now becoming more popular. The LPG is now also being used as a cooking gas, but most of the population, they use charcoal at the cost of, that means a lot of trees are harvested every year. Another challenge to biodiversity is the proliferation of the invasive species. There is one species which is very common now in the country, which is called Prosopis tullivolora, which has originated generally from Central America and has been introduced into the country in the 70s and in the 80s, particularly by the development agencies. And I can say that was well-intentioned environmental interventions aimed at restoration of land, sand dune fixation, as a use for shade, but actually it's gone out of hand. It has actually annexed quite large tracts of the country, particularly even in this botanical area, botanical garden and its surroundings. It is very common there. And that tree actually, it competes the other indigenous trees for water, for soil, for space, and it replaces, the natural fauna, the natural flora. So that's another challenge to biodiversity. Other than that, there are the issue of land use changes. Quite a lot of land are now being converted into agricultural land, and that actually pushes, the wildlife, into breweries. So these are some of the challenges that are causing these problems.
That's interesting. Thank you for that introduction. But one of the things you just mentioned was about the species. I wonder if you could say a word or two about what species we're actually seeing here in Deeble.
Now, luckily, actually, we are sitting under a big tamarind tree, but also there are iconic sycamore trees, which we will actually see it later.
Well, actually, why don't we walk towards one of them now?
Thank you.
So let's walk towards one of them now. This is look at the size of this tree.
Yeah. So these are sycamore trees. Scientifically, they call it Ficus sycamoris. It must be, for example, hundreds of years of age, and this place used to be one of, the parks, actually gazetted parks, established by the former Somali government. Even in the British times, it has been a gazetted park, and it used to have, in the olden days, a lot of wildlife. That's to say, there were lions, there were elephants, and as I have actually, there was one British, actually from the aristocracy, British aristocracy, who used to come to Somaliland in the end of the 19th century. His name was Lord Delamere. He used to come here on yearly basis for lion hunting, before finally he moved to Kenya and settled there. So the most popular species you can find here are these sycamores, tamarinds.
Let's see.
This is the tamarind, yes. And quite, of course, before the establishment of this botanic garden, it was also completely covered by this invasive species we have been talking about, the Prosopis tullivolora. But thanks to the organization who is running this center, PVO, Khadra, with her efforts, they have cleared that invasive species. You can see heaps of wood over there. These are the cuttings of that species, because otherwise the indigenous species will not come back, if that species is not cleared from here. Yeah.
So in terms of this species preservation, this must be an issue around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously you're an expert in species in this part of the world, but the growth of species, not only humans but also plants, must be an issue all around the world.
Yeah, exactly, yes. And it's a very important issue in Somaliland, with a country of that many endemic species, but many actually of those species has been documented starting from the end of the 19th century, okay? So nobody knows how many of these over 2,000 species are actually present now. And that actually underlines the importance of continuous monitoring and visiting back to the areas where these species has been, collected from the first time to check if they are still there. If they are, some of these species may be endangered in the wild. Some of them, yeah. So the purpose of establishing a botanic garden is to have an ex situ conservation. That means bringing them, these species from where they have been endangered, into the botanic garden, so that they can grow there, and then the seeds can be propagated, and then maybe a rewilding can be made in future when things, yeah.
That's interesting. Now, if I can put you on the spot for a second, I understand that there's a plant named for you. Is that true?
Yeah, actually, I have contributed, I have a humble contribution in terms of description and identification of species. At least I have been instrumental in the identification and description of 2 aloe species. One of them is called Aloe sanguinalis, the Somali red aloe, and another species called Aloe keizai. But moreover, there has been an scorpion which has been actually identified by a Czech scientists. But they name it, to honor me. They said, Bandanurus Awale. Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
Well, we only have a few minutes left, Dr. Awale. So is there anything that you think, before we move on to see more of this Biodiversity Center, is there anything that you think an American audience or a Western audience might not know about your work or about where we are now?
Yeah, actually, of course, as an organization, Somaliland Biodiversity Foundation, we have been active since 2016, and it's the only organization that's devoted to biodiversity conservation and research and conservation. And we have been working in the study, documentation, and conservation of biodiversity by actually building the capacity of the youth, particularly the students, and we have been supporting the University of Hargeisa and 2 other universities in actually bringing in that kind of knowledge into their courses of study. So yeah, this is something unique when you look into the Somali environment and the Somali region. Of course, and this is the beginning of the road. And I think, yeah, with these humble beginnings, we can achieve a lot in future.
Well, I look forward to it and continue the good work. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we're gonna continue our discussion here at the Somaliland Biodiversity Foundation in just a moment with some other guests who are going to explain a little bit more about the work that Dr. Awale is doing and the related work that Dr. Awale is doing. Thanks again, Dr. Awale. Thank you. Thank you. We're continuing our discussion about biodiversity in Deeble, Somaliland, and I'm here with Khadra Omer, who is the director of the Biodiversity Botanical Gardens. Welcome.
Thank you very much for your time and visiting in the Botanical Garden. This is a This is a Deeble Botanical Garden, Somaliland National Botanical Garden. Thank you very much for your time. Little bit I wanted to explain where from these ideas. This is this area, as my colleagues was explained, this area was, recognized in 1950. That is a forestry area, which was closed seasonal time and sometimes it's opening. So it was very rich in the acacia trees and full resource of natural resource. It was a protecting area. After civil war in Somalia and Somaliland, everything was destroyed by the natural resource and acacia trees. And all species for this, they are gone. Since I was advocating for the environment and climate change and also, biodiversity, I was thinking how you are bring back the indigenous trees in Somaliland. Then I was thinking how you are bring the ideas, very concrete ideas, and the people will be like it. Then I was come here, I was implementing small activities, community mobilization, community awareness raising, community training. Then I go to the Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa has a big, botanical garden. It's a similar to Chibichi, the Gulali Botanical Garden, and here is the Deeble Botanical Garden, Chibichi too. It was established 16 years ago. At that time, till 1922, I was walking and looking for how I can get the supporting and the idea. So some people are, especially the Horn of Africa Regional Environment Center, Norway, which is existing that office in Addis Ababa, and we are member of that. They are allow us to make a small assessment. And some people who are professionals and PhD people in the environment and climate change and also biodiversity program, they come here and they are making report. Then we are explaining and we are making good presentation in the high level conference. That I am also explaining and selling ideas that people accepted me to recognize it here in the second Horn of Africa Botanical Garden, which is a large area, which is 8 kilometer by 10 kilometer square. And I have already established it 2022 until now. It was captured the parasites. 3 years I am clearing and moving parasites. It was very bad. All my time and all my resources, the parasites is taken. Right now, still is there, full of. But now you can see we are already do something.
Well, can you show us a little bit? So can we walk a little bit this way? Well, maybe if we go towards that big tree over there, if you can show us a little bit about what, about what we're seeing around us. I mean, we'll capture this, but, to an American viewer, this is... Yes?
And the other species, this is our is medicine tree and herbarium tree. Sometimes, the women, when the child is sick, the women are cutting this, then are boiling, they are, giving the child become active, and the disease is removing. So it's very nice tree. So there's a lot of trees in here. After we are removing the parasites, many shrubs are become. If you are moving over there, you can see many flowers, very smiling, very very nice. So you can see that many things bring back when we are crossing 4 kilometers.
Well, let's talk about being back for a second. So you're really preserving what was in the past to the present. How are you doing that exactly, and what are the things that universities can do around Somaliland and around the world that can help?
The university can help to make research. And also they are helping us to make labeling and trees, the family name, original, where come from these trees, are the new trees, are the is the previous trees who are in the region here. So the university are part of the research and part of collected and collections. And also we are also getting many informations and many acknowledgements. Academic, this program is structured academic and civil society. So Hargeisa University are part of this. And this university is part of the other botanical garden. So university is the priority one to helping biodiversity and the botanical garden and environment protection and all that we want to.
Great. Well, keep up the good work. Keep up protecting. We're now going to hear a little bit more about how the University of Hargeisa is doing this in terms of the preservation. And so thank you again for your time. This has been terrific. Thank you. We're continuing our discussion about biodiversity. I'm here with Faisal Jama, who is the director of the museum at the University of Hargeisa. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me, Stephen. I'm glad. I'm the manager of the Biodiversity Museum of University of Hargeisa. The Biodiversity Museum was established in 2016 in the collaboration with the University of Hargeisa and Somaliland Biodiversity Foundation. Currently, we have two sections. We have a plant biodiversity section we call botany or herbarium section. We also have entomology section. So we do three main activities in the Biodiversity Museum. We first have education and teaching activities. So we teach the students of the environmental and the agricultural departments. They have courses like plant taxonomy and plant ecology courses. So we help them get the practical and hands-on knowledge, so they can the herbarium and the entomology section to see the practical aspect of their courses. We also have a research department, so we call them from collection to cataloging. So we collect the planties from different ecosystems and different ecologies of Somaliland. And then we compare and see the distribution of these species, plant species, and we also categorize. There is, from least concern to endangered. So in between them, we also research, and we have also a conservation department, so that after the research, some plants can be, if they are endemic, they can be endangered or something like rare. So we collect the seeds and then we plant for our small botanical garden. And then we propagate that seeds so that to keep the plant is, least concern. And we distribute the seeds to the other, institutions. Like we have a good cooperation with the Deeble Botanical Garden, like the one we are now. And we help them have, the research aspect of the plants. So we have also a connection with the herbarium or the Biodiversity Museum with the Gelle Botanical Garden. So that's the three main areas that we work.
Very interesting. If I could ask you just one quick follow-up on that. What specifically would a student do who's, let's say, at the University of Hargeisa? What could they do to contribute to the work of the museum?
We have all the facilities necessary for the students to look at the plants and their diversity. So we have, that kind of facilities like microscopes and hand lenses. So when they come to the museum, they see the collections we have. We have now almost 1,000 plant specimens collected from the different ecosystems of Somaliland. So when they come, they see the diversity of these plants. So they also, learn the plant itself. there is a different organs of the plants, like the leaves, flowers, and the fruits. So those organs are the major aspect who determine the species. So to learn that, they have to see the organs themselves, and we help them have, get this through the microscopes and hand lenses and those facilities.
If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to leave with me at the show, please go ahead and send an email to highereducationtoday@topcolleges.com. And I'd like to thank all the people, all our viewers, all the people in Hargeisa, in Deeble, who have helped us to put a spotlight on biodiversity here in Hargeisa. And to you, our viewers, please join us again for another edition of Higher Education Today. I'm your host, Stephen Roy Goodman, and you've been watching Higher Education Today.